What's up, college football fans and Mean Green fans? Sonoy Valente here once again with the Mean Green Show. Today, joined by Miles, and we're going to just kind of catch up on all things going on with North Texas football and the exciting things in the near future as far as that goes. But before we get into all of that, guys, you already know the drill. If you're a fan of college football recruiting, G5 football, the transfer portal, any or all of the above, consider hitting that like and subscribe button because that is truly all that we talk about. All right, Miles. Well, like we were saying earlier, it's almost Christmas break. I hope you're in the Christmas spirit and ready to get some time off and some much needed rest and relaxation. And we get to go to a bowl game during that time too. So that's going to be a lot of fun. December 23rd. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, buy them. And you were saying you buy them on the North Texas side, fill that side up first before we go over to the, Miami, Ohio side or whatever. But really, man, so you and I haven't spoke, again on tape since UNT beat UTSA, and I just really wanted to get your quick synopsis and your opinion on the matter. But Latrell's coming back next year, point blank, end of story. Don't you think?
Well, for sure. I mean, you get to 6 wins after going 1-6. It's just bound to happen. I mean, at one point in the year, though, everyone was saying there's no way he's coming back. You were 1-6, and now he got a lot of momentum. Pieces that he had at the beginning of the year that just weren't working, that weren't really combining well together, all of a sudden started working. And I think the hiring of Phil Bennett was probably the biggest thing he's done in his career, in his head coaching career here at North Texas, besides his first staff that he had in 2016. So he's definitely back next year. Recruiting's picking up a little bit more. I think if they would have fired him, it would have been a really big mess, and it could have been even worse than the past few years. So he deserved it. I mean, he got the guys from 1-6 to 6-6. That's hard to do. That's really, really hard to do. And now you have a chance to get a bowl win, even though it's Miami, Ohio. It didn't matter. I mean, you have a chance to get a bowl win, and bowl wins always are going to help your program rise more and more and more. And I can only imagine if they win this bowl game, North Texas is going to be very dangerous next year with a lot of returning pieces. Because I think there's only 8 seniors. That's still kind of iffy. I'm not really 100% sure because who knows who comes back. But um, it's very exciting to see what they did, and it wasn't all coaching, but it was a lot of emphasis on the coaching aspect of what happened because those guys looked way better in the final 6 games in the year than they did in the first 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we would talk about this just real briefly. UTSA obviously won the conference. I mean, they're conference champions, and as North Texas fans, it's kind of humbug about it. But going into the AAC, that's not a bad thing to have the conference champions leaving and going into a new conference with you. And the rivalry, obviously, I think got better. I've said it many a times, and I believe it. But so anyway, I think it's really really good things ahead for just the conference that we're going to and bringing a championship team in. That's a good thing, and we'll see how next year's championship plays out. But kind of looking forward to Miami. I keep wanting to call them Bowling Green, but Miami, Ohio. Like you were saying, okay, so this is just kind of Austin Ani could be the quarterback to lead us to a bowl victory. I'm not putting this on Mason Fine. Don't anybody get it twisted, but Mason Fine didn't win a bowl game here. We had horrible matchups, mind you. I mean, we were just whatever, but this is a matchup where obviously they have to go out there and do it, but this game's winnable. I mean, I think we all think, okay, this one's winnable. I mean, Utah State, when they had Jordan Love, that was a nightmare. Troy was on like won 10 or 11 games that year. They were obviously really really good that year. The one where we played Army on a whim, I think we were 5 games in Mason's freshman year, or we got 5 wins and got in some academic loophole or something. And I think those are the 3, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mason did not play that bowl game. He was injured, and I think they did not give him medical red shirt because he played like 5 games that year. But
Mm.
that was probably our most even matchup, that 2016 Army game,
Yeah.
because it was actually a team. I mean, North Texas beat that Army team earlier in the year by 30 in West Point. They didn't
Yeah.
just beat them by a close. They beat them by like 20 or 30 in West Point. So it was a really favorable matchup, and this reminds me of that one because Army's not or Miami's not overpowering, but they're also not like really bad where they just snuck. Well, they kind of just snuck in. Uh, disregard that, but this is a really favorable matchup, and I like North Texas with a lot of different aspects because I mean the fact they're riding a 5 game winning streak and a top 25 win, it just makes it a lot better.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the matter? You think Austin Ani's going to come back?
Well, I don't know. Uh, I could not tell you. I mean, my
It's
opinion,
anyone's
I think
guess.
he does, but if I remember correctly, he has a child coming
Mm-hmm.
soon.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe that throws it off. I don't know because having a child as a college quarterback too. I mean, that seems like a lot to deal with. I don't know about that, but I mean, I would assume he does, but he might not. Who knows? Not who cares. Who knows? Um, but if he can lead us to bowl win, that'd be fantastic. Talk about a comeback story. You go to the minor leagues, and then you come back
Yeah.
to play college football, and you're 28 and you're winning football games. That's the story you want in your life.
Yeah. And I mean, from a North Texas perspective, we haven't the last quarterback to do it was Derek Thompson, like to win a bowl
Mm-hmm.
game here. So I mean, I mean, Austin Ani, who everyone has really crapped on, could do that and be, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, matchups and whatnot obviously play a huge factor as in why that is facts, but it'll be interesting. And then, win or lose, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what happens in that quarterback room. Um, kind of what do you think is going to happen? I mean, do you think Amani, do you think Kaysen, do you think they're all going to come back? Or, I mean,
I think it's way too early to tell because I mean North Texas did get J.D. Head from Louisiana
mm-hmm,
Tech, and that was interesting. He played a few games. He threw a touchdown
mm-hmm,
against North Texas last year, so
yeah,
I got to see a little bit of him, even though I wasn't really watching because we were down by so much. But uh, it was I don't know. The quarterback room is so weird because Martin's been here since 2018, and he's seen the field 3, 4 times in
mm-hmm,
in in 3, 4 years. And two of them were bowl games and 2 touchdowns. Amani Gilmore hadn't even seen the field at all. And then you have Bryce Drummond right behind him. He's a redshirt freshman. Who knows what he does next year? And then you have Jace Ruder. We can't forget
yeah,
about Ruder, who got benched after
absolutely,
game 3. And I think that might be another aspect of him getting a full winter, spring, summer, not just being thrown out there in June and learning it all and getting thrown in games when you're playing really solid teams. I mean, he was playing SMU. He did okay against SMU, and then UAB. So I think the quarterback situation is so weird. I don't know what will happen. Maybe someone transfers out. Maybe Ani graduates. Maybe they all come back, and we have an even bigger QB competition. Who
yeah.
knows at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would like to see Jace come back. Would like to see Ani come
I
back,
would too.
honestly. Yeah,
I'd like to see Reuter kind of redeem himself after this past year. I mean,
yeah.
that would be great just to see what he has more of because I feel like he has more skill than what he showed in these
Mhm.
first 3 games. And I tell you, like I said, maybe if he gets more of a full off season, not just like not even 2 months. He was barely there for 2 months
Yeah,
of
yeah,
practice.
yeah. Couldn't agree more. So, all right, looking ahead to Miami, Ohio. So they were coming, let's see, and pull up their record really quick. I mean, they're coming off a loss, 47-48 Kent State. Then they beat Bowling Green 34-7. Beat Buffalo 45-18, lost to Ohio 33-35. So, going off of 2-2 their last 4. Is that correct? Can I see here?
They've had a lot
Yes.
of close games.
They
They played
have.
in a lot of
Yeah.
close games this year, except for like Cincinnati and Buffalo,
Mhm.
and I think there's another one on there. They've played in a really they were in the game with Minnesota for most of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They're
It,
a weird team. They're like us basically, except they didn't have these weird streaks.
yeah, that's true. They were more spotty. So Gabbert, their quarterback, I think I heard on Go Mean Green's podcast that it's Blaine Gabbert's cousin or little brother or something. He's passed for a few games over 300, over 400 yards, and it's not consistent, but I mean they can definitely put up some passing yards. So I think it'll be interesting to see, will our defense kind of stay the route it's been on and, be able to keep them, hopefully under 28, if not less. And, we'll see. I mean, it looks like for now, our offense has been more centralized around the run with Torrey, obviously, and Ikaiko Ragsdale kind of carving, showing what he's doing. It was week to week, or showing what he can be, I guess, from week to week. So, yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. I guess it's anyone's game. I mean, who's to say we don't go out there and mess it up? But I mean, what are your thoughts on this game? I mean, how do you feel? What do you think the keys are to get a victory?
Well, Miami, Ohio does not have a running game. Their lead rusher has 479 total yards. DeAndre Torrey has 1,215 rushing yards. So what they need to do, and North Texas is very good at, is stopping the run. And now you just make the run so they don't have a run game. That means North Texas defensive backs are going to be have to have a really, really good game, because Gabbert's going to throw all over the place, and North Texas has had problems this year against good passing teams at stopping them. I mean, you have younger guys. You lost Quinn Whitlock. You lost Upton Stout. You've lost, well, John Davis is back, but he's not in a bigger role as he was. So you're playing younger guys who don't have a lot of experience, and they have Sorensen, their top receiver. I mean, he's really, really good. And it's going to be a factor of North Texas stopping the pass, making them try to run the ball more, which, I mean, that seems like it's a little bit more difficult to say than do. And then just doing what North Texas does offensively, which is run the ball. 3 years ago, if you said North Texas was going to be a top 25 run uh, offense, nobody would believe you, because North Texas was a real pass-heavy, air raid offense. Now that they're switching to it, it looks more comfortable, and North Texas has to do that to be able to win this game, because Miami, Ohio is not bad, but that UTSA win, there was just so much motivation going into this.
Mhm.
It just made North Texas look like they were like this undefeated dominant team, and UTSA was 6-6. It looked like that.
Mhm.
So North Texas just has to play what they've done the past 5 games, which is exactly what I've said. They've stopped defensively. They've been really, really good. They went from dead last in the country. They were dead last in passing. They were second to last overall in total defense, and now they're just a below average. They're not great, but they're not terrible. So just doing what they've done the past 5 games is exactly what they needed to do against Miami.
Yeah. All right. So kind of looking ahead after the bowl game, win or lose, what do you think the fans, benchmark for Coach Luttrell and next year's team will be? I mean, do you think it's okay? Now you got to win 7 games at least in regular season to kind of justify this thing continuing to move forward with his final year on his contract? Because I mean, do you think 6 would be enough next year? Or I mean, what are your thoughts for next? And now we've kind of shown that okay. I mean, they got to 6 in a very dramatic fashion and entertaining fashion. It's probably the most exciting 6-6 year ever, honestly. But um, I mean, but what are your thoughts for next year? I know that's quite a ways away at this point, as this year isn't even over, but just kind of want to get your quick outlook on that.
Well, I think North Texas is almost needs to win this game. Like, you can't expect this type of team, and this will be will it be year 7 next year for Latrell? Is that right?
I don't know.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it'll be year 7. So
Wow.
you shouldn't be expecting just 6-6. You should be expecting 9 to 10 wins, conference championship appearances, not just scraping off bowl games in general and getting one that just popped out of the air from the NCAA a few weeks ago. So next year, they really need to win, And if you win, you're going to get way more fan support. I mean, we opened up the year against SMU. Imagine the crowd if we win a bowl game. I mean, look at 2017. Even though it wasn't the prettiest of bowl games in 2016, North Texas still had a massive crowd for those first few games in 2017. So I don't know. You just can't expect 6 wins. 6 wins should not be the goal. It should be conference championships. And if you're not getting to that next year, that's a major disappointment because he's getting paid $1.9, whatever, $2 million a year just to be able to scrape the bottom at 6-6. I'm glad they're here. I love it. I love going to bowl games. I love having a good chance at winning, but that should not be the expectation next year. Next year, they're going to be more experienced. They're going to have, I mean, some guys are redshirt or true freshmen, redshirt freshmen. They're going to have more playing time in the past. I think this is going to be winning this game will definitely win you 9 games next year. That's my goal. Yes, you win 9 games next year if you win this bowl game. 9
There
or
we
more.
go.
Because next
9.
year's schedule is not like this.
Yeah.
Hopefully not like this. Because it was a bloodbath from one to there. It was hard. But you're playing UNLV, you're playing Texas Southern, you're playing SMU, and then you're playing Memphis. That's a little bit more of a step down. You're not playing a Liberty, you're not playing a Missouri. So
who's our Power 5 team? Are we not playing any Power 5 teams next?
It was supposed to be Wisconsin. I'm very sure. It was supposed to be Wisconsin or California. And then, no, I think California's the next year. It was supposed to be Wisconsin, I'm pretty sure. And they canceled it. And I think we replaced it with UNLV. Don't quote me on that one. But I remember we had a series with Wisconsin pushed back. Maybe it was, no, Army's not Power 5. I think it was Wisconsin. But nonetheless, I mean, really, next year's schedule is not going to be that difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, you get FIU here, that's nothing. You are playing some road games that would be tough. You're playing at UAB, playing at UTSA. Those two are just really hard right there. At UTEP. But your goal should never be just 6 wins when you're going into year 7 with the talent that you have. I mean, you have Rod Brown, one of the best freshman defensive tackles in the country. You have Gabe Blair. He started. Did he start 11 games?
I don't know, but
I don't think he started. I think he started 11. He started a lot. He started a lot this year as a true freshman.
Yeah.
And Iowa Day. I mean, he was playing significant playing time with Attaway out this year, and Attaway's back next year. Imagine people that are back. Tommy Bush is going to probably be back next year. Jair Shorter. Who knows who's going to be back? And then you're getting all these transfers. So your expectations should be way higher. And North Texas never succeeds when they have high expectations. So maybe they're put forth preseason. So hopefully that's the case. So then they go and win the conference. But I just don't think 6 wins next year would be enough to renew his contract because I'm pretty sure his contract is done.
I thought he had next year and the following year. I thought.
Does he? If he does, then still, 6 wins is not enough.
Yeah. What about 7?
I think 8 or more.
Okay.
8 or more should be the regular season goal.
Okay.
8 or more.
8 is great. All right.
Because realistically, come on, you're in year 7. You should
Yeah.
not be.
Yeah.
If you're going to be winning 6 games, that's not what you want as a program.
Yeah.
Mainly when you're going into a new conference too, because 2023 you're in a new conference.
Yeah. You gotta
who knows who's
score.
in the conference next year, because they're saying maybe people are moving in and moving out this summer. Who knows if we have Mexico State in our conference and Old Dominion's gone? You know, we don't know really what's going to happen. But what I know should happen is 9 wins next year.
Do you have a score prediction for the bowl game?
Ugh. Well, Vegas has it as 28-25. Miami is a 3-point favorite, which I find interesting. ESPN gives them a 54% chance of winning, which I again find interesting since it's basically our home field. But I don't know. I think North Texas should win this game. I really think they should. There's no doubt that they should not win. They should win this game. Mainly riding your win streak that you have, all the momentum, and I just can't see them losing like that. If they do, that's just the ultimate fail. You're 0-5 as a coach and in bowls in 6 years. That's an ultimate fail. If you do that.
Yeah, you're right. Well, all right, Miles. Anything else we need to touch on before we hop off here?
I'm glad we got some recruiting picking up a little bit. Jamorian or Jay. how does he go? Is he
Jamori
like Jay
Macklin,
Macklin or
Jay
Jamori?
Macklin, yeah, I'm not sure.
And
Macklin,
then
but
Kobe Savage, who I think
yeah,
is really, really good. I think he's the underrated person out of those three.
hopefully
And
we can hold
then
on to him.
hopefully getting Wayne Jones. I mean, if that Kansas State
Yeah,
transfer,
yeah,
that'd be significant. We need pieces next year.
yeah.
You're losing Michael Sanders. You're losing Tyreek Davis. You're losing
Mhm.
Deion Noville. You need more pieces in there. I don't know.
I
When recruiting picks up, I love it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, the same, likewise. Yeah, we can do a whole 'nother video on recruiting just in itself, but wouldn't mind to see an experienced quarterback get picked up to add to this already crowded room. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how it goes, but all right, Miles. Well, thanks so much for jumping on, and go Mean Green, and we'll see you at the bowl game.
Mm-hmm. See you at the bowl game. Go Mean Green.